the beats, for the love, for the alcohol, for the party. One time like, okay. Letting the kick ride, letting the snare roll, letting the bottle pour, cups in the airflow. Love what you hear though, everything blap. Feel like the beat is everything, well then everything's back. Letting the speakers blast, letting the beats run. Word to the crate digging, word to machine drums. Get used to it as we proceed. Black radio for the lover, just the beats. Everything is blap, everything is blap, everything is blap. Yeah, everything is blap. The kick gon' knock, the snare gon' crack, and everything is blap, everything is blap. Everything is blap, everything is blap, everything is blap, yeah, everything is blap. The bottle gon' pour, the speakers gon' crack, and everything is blap, everything is blap, everything is blap.
BLAPCHAT, BLAPCHAT. We are here,
sir.
Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. And rest.
That's pretty.
Wow.
That was a moment.
That was a moment.
Holy cow.
We are finally here.
Yes.
It's only been a week, I think.
A week.
A couple weeks. BLAPCHAT. We're back. Episode, Josh?
110.
Episode 110. Holy shit.
111.
Holy shit. All right.
That looks pretty.
It looks very
111.
pretty.
Yeah.
BLAPCHAT episode 110. I'm your host, Illmind. I'm here with my co-host.
Yes, that was the plug.
Atlas the Plug is here. Shout to Love Perfection and shout to Glam, our other co-hosts. They're out doing music things, doing real music things. Perfection's in Atlanta right now she's doing a lockout at Tree Sound Studio. So shout to Perfection, shout to Glam, doing her thing out there. It's me and Atlas today.
Yes, sir.
This is a podcast for music producers by music producers. Shout out to all of our subscribers, all of our followers, our dedicated listeners. You guys are literally amazing. You guys are the reason why we keep this going. To have an audience like you guys is an honor, and for you guys to have been listening to us for all these years and all these episodes, man, we really appreciate you. Also, welcome to our new listeners. You know what I mean? Can't forget them. If you're just tuning in now, is this your first episode? Or if you've just tuned in recently, man, welcome to the movement. Hoping you're enjoying the podcast. This is raw and uncut, like we say.
Raw and
so we talk about raw uncut. That was like a little this is Raw and Uncut. We like to talk about everything and anything that involves music production, that includes beat making, songwriting, singing, rapping, the business of music, shopping, everything, the online marketing, all this shit, promoting all this stuff that is a consistent conversation in our community. We use this platform to talk about that stuff and hopefully inspire and empower you, man. You know what I mean? So really a lot of interesting things that I want to dive into today. We have some really great questions, some Q&A that I want to go over with you guys. But first, we have a few announcements. I want to announce a few things. Number one is, you guys already know because I've been announcing this in the beginning of every episode, but I'm still on my Pass the Aux global in-studio tour. All right. So basically, if you've been living under a rock, what's going on is basically every month I'm traveling to a different city. I'm booking a private studio session, and I'm inviting 20 to 30, sometimes 40 upcoming music creators to come to the studio and literally hang out with me from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., sometimes later. And you basically come to the studio and you plug the aux in and you play your music. And then I give you a little constructive criticism. We talk about your aspirations, your situation, the stuff you're trying to accomplish. We do Q&A where I'm answering all of your questions. We get to know each other. And it's really, really so inspiring. I've been so humbled to be able to do this with you guys. So you already know it's fourth quarter. We're in October already. Holy shit. Can you believe it?
I can't.
October is here, and I'll be coming to Denver, Colorado on October 21st. I believe that has one ticket left. So by the time you listen to this, if you're in Denver or around Denver and you're listening to this, you probably want to go to my website, illmindproducer.com, to try to get that last ticket. If it's sold out, I have some bad news and good news. The bad news is that you can't come to Denver. The good news is that I'm still going to a bunch of different cities. Okay, I'm coming to Las Vegas October 23rd. I'll be in Los Angeles October 24th and 25th. All still have tickets left. Actually, no, I lied. Los Angeles is completely sold out.
Liar.
November 18th, I'll be in Nashville. Just announced that recently. So this is my first time doing it in Nashville. So if you live in and around Nashville, I highly recommend check that out. November 18th. November 19th, I'll be in Atlanta. This is my third one this year. And then in December, I'm going to end the year off December 2nd, Toronto, December 3rd, Toronto, and December 5th, Montreal.
Ooh, that's a
you know
good
we're
one.
hitting the strip club.
Oh, yeah. Say no more.
Hitting the
It's
strip
done.
club after that. So the bad news is that if you don't hear your city or if your city is sold out, unfortunately, you can't come. But the good news...
Drum roll. Where's the drum?
Here's the drum roll.
We need the
Ready?
drum roll.
Ready?
We need the
Ready?
drum
Ready?
roll, yo.
Ready?
We gotta
Ready?
have it.
That's not a drum roll, but that's good enough.
There you go.
The fortunate thing is that I just announced today the official... You ready for this? The official Pass the Aux online experience. There's your drum roll.
There you go.
So I just announced the official Pass the Aux online experience. So
amazing.
you're probably asking, what the fuck is that? Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're taking the Pass the Aux model and we're going to do it online via group video chat. So there's this amazing platform called Zoom where you can do a conference of basically like more than 100 people. And you all log into this private link, which gives you access to this video chat room. And basically we're going to do Pass the Aux online. So you're going to be able to purchase your slot to attend the first ever Pass the Aux online experience, which is happening on November 12th at 1 p.m. Eastern. And there's only 20 slots for this. And I just announced it today. And you're going to register for that. And then you're going to be able to just log onto your computer, join the video chat, and we're all going to be there at the same time. And then you're going to literally go one by one. I'm going to choose you one by one. You're going to have the floor, and you're going to play your song or your beat, and we're going to do Pass the Aux literally online. Everything is going to be recorded. It's going to be the first time ever doing this. So I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are excited. And this is a great opportunity for people who always wanted to come to Pass the Aux but never saw their city or were never able to sort of like afford, like you were saying, afford a flight or a hotel to come to one of these cities. Now you have the opportunity. And this is a global thing. So I'm excited to announce this. I'm really curious and excited to open this up globally. I'm looking forward to seeing people join in from all over the world on this first ever Pass the Aux online experience. And the cool thing is that if you've been to my previous Pass the Aux live events, you get a discount for this.
That's tough.
So this is a cool way for you to do it again, but not have to commit to coming to an actual live event. So if you want the discount, there's a special discount code that we're going to email to you, or you could email my assistant, Lyric Lesson, at gmail.com. That's Lyric, Leson, at gmail.com, and you're going to send him your order number. Once you send him your order number, he's going to reply with the discount code that you can use on illmindproducer.com. Also, if you are a member of my Illmind Platinum Club, you also get a discount to do the Pass the Aux online experience. So,
and it's first come, first serve, right?
First come, first serve.
Oh, so they got to hurry.
They got to hurry. So once those 20 slots fill up, we're done. But again, this is something that I'm going to be doing regularly. In my mind, I would love to do this once a month. In addition to my live actual going to different cities and doing the actual live events as well. So you have Pass the Aux live experience and you have Pass the Aux online experience, both live right now on illmindproducer.com. Go get your tickets. It's super lit. Yeah, man, that's what's going on. Atlas, you have a bunch of shit coming up too, man. Talk to the people. What
oh man, dude, that sounds great. And yeah, we will be going to the strip club
yes.
in Toronto. But yeah, so True Masters is coming back, baby. 8 dancers, 8 rappers, 8 music producers, battle head to head, crowd picks the winner. That's going on blah blah blah. When is that actually? Hold on here, I got so many dates here. November 7th, excuse me. So November 7th. True Masters, if you're looking to enter, you're in the New York tri-state area, just follow me, Atlas the Plug, ATLAS the Plug. The link's right there in my bio for all my events that I have coming up. But yeah, True Masters, also the Roller Party.
Roller Disco.
Roller Disco's October 17th.
Fire.
October 26th, I'm doing the Masquerade event in Soho. The 27th, I'm doing an art show, also in Soho. November 7th, I'm going to Pizza Zoo. Shout out to my boy Brian, who's the co-founder of Pizza Zoo.
Nice.
He's going to be at Stage 48 on November 2nd. November 7th, I said, of course, True Masters. Also, right after True Masters will be Roller Disco, same day, so that's going to be lit. Comedy show December 26th, Roller Disco. And then the last thing I'm really excited for, New Year's Eve, Ace Hotel party. It's going to be lit. Roller Disco as well.
Ace Hotel.
And there's going to be some other stuff, appearances and stuff in between there, but it's going to be lit. So
sounds amazing, yeah.
I'm super, super excited, man.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited for you. A lot of cool things for you guys to attend. And we were talking about earlier about how you want to go to these events.
Of course.
You know, if you see something that pops up where you know you'll have an opportunity to meet people that are like you, you should probably go.
100%.
You know, there's a lot of people that have this misconception. They think, you know, I only want to look for this stuff where I can meet like famous people or executives. And 9 times out of 10, those are probably not necessarily the events you want to go to all the time. You know, especially a lot of those events have like very high price points. You know, a lot of the magic moments happen when you go to stuff that you're doing or just different things where you know you're going to find like-minded people.
And 9 times out of 10, maybe 10 times out of 10.
10 times out of 10.
Those people that like the real high up people that you can't get to right now, 10 times out of 10, 5 or 10 years ago, they were at the places that they had to start somewhere too. So those people you meet at these events in 5 or 10 years are going to be those people. So you want to already have an existing relationship with these people. Like, isn't there nothing better, Ill, when you're like, oh, you know such and such? Man, bro, that's I known them for, we go way back since, you know what I mean? That's like the best, you know what I mean? Because then it just proves that you've been working, you've been out here, you've built a lot of relationships and have a good reputation. And that's another thing too, is you got to have a good reputation in the industry because it's very small and the word gets around really fast.
Man, that reputation is everything.
It is.
It's
really
everything.
is.
And especially now with social media, the reputation honestly is a and I'm going to tie this into what we've been talking about the last few episodes, but the reputation ties into what people say about you to other people and your Instagram.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like it's like the combination.
It's like your resume. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but it's like your resume. The first place people are going to go is
Instagram.
IG. Oh, let me see what the IG is looking like.
Yep. And they see, do they have a blue check? Do they not have a blue check? How many followers? What kind of
real
engagement?
Followers?
Yeah, are they real? What kind of engagement are they getting? How often are they posting?
Yep.
What exactly does this person do?
Right.
Are they a producer, the songwriter, singer? And like I said, like if you're not making that clear to people on your Instagram, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
And you know what's the funny thing is you get people that say, well, you know, I'm not that guy. I don't really like to be putting my business out there where I be going and where I be doing. And but I'm like, but you're not doing anything else.
No.
But you're not doing anything else. Like if you were, all right, fine. You're not going to post online, then have like 2 shows that month and you know, an appearance here and studio session here with this person and like a meet and greet and like have at least some things going on. But if you're not doing that,
Yeah.
then how are people going to know
How
who
are
the hell
people
you
going to
are?
know? How are people going to know? They're not going to know.
They're not going to know, exactly.
They're not going to know.
Exactly.
So, again, not to harp on this too much because we have episodes upon episodes talking about this stuff, but definitely want to make sure your Instagram is straight. I mean, I think that going into 2020, if your Instagram isn't straight, then you have a long way to go. It's really tough.
Instagram, give me that blue check, man. Why y'all? What's up, man? Give me my blue check.
What's
Instagram,
good?
what's up?
I wish I had the
Come
plug.
on.
I wish I had the plug to that.
Listen, and I know I could pay somewhere to buy it, but I don't want to do that.
No,
I don't want to do that. Just come on, man. Give me some love already.
Exactly.
But you know what? I'll get it, and it's like nothing's going to change. It's like the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It just looks nice on your profile.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? So
exactly.
It's whatever.
Exactly.
Oh, actually, the only reason why I really want it so I could just do the swipe up feature on my stories.
Yeah,
that's
swipe
really
up. The swipe up thing is a
clutch.
game changer. It
Super
really
clutch.
is.
Super clutch.
So I did a podcast earlier today. I was a special guest on my dude Kyle Beats.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but Kyle Beats has a really nice following. He's been really doing his thing on the production YouTube space, and I really like his videos. And so he asked me to be a guest on his podcast. So I did it earlier today. And there were a bunch of people that tweeted questions. So I want to do a bit of a Q&A thing today because I think in 110 BLAPCHAT episodes, we covered a lot. We've covered a lot of material. Jeez. And it's evolved, too.
And I feel like we can go on even more, too.
We can go even more.
Yeah.
So I think moving forward, being in the hundreds, I almost feel like we did this subconsciously, but I feel like we're getting a little bit more deeper and more intense.
I 100%
with what we're talking about.
Oh, big time.
We're getting a little more controversial. We're getting a little more real. Well, we've always been real, but we're getting a little more
to the root of it.
Meat and potatoes.
Yeah, meat and potatoes. There you go.
I had that last night for dinner.
There you go.
What I had lamb last night, I think. We're getting to the meat and potatoes, and we really want to just disrupt the current conversation, repeated conversation that's just always been happening in our industry. It's the same conversation over and over and over and over again. It's the same questions that people want the answers to. So we want to try to dive into this stuff and get really, really deep and real with people.
Yeah.
So one thing before we get into Q&A, one thing that was really interesting about me and Kyle Beats' conversation earlier was the fact that Kyle Beats has pretty much no major placements currently, but has a very, very well-tuned, very dedicated fan base on YouTube. And he's literally making a living off of this with YouTube videos and kits and all that stuff, tutorial videos. And I think Kyle is a great example of someone who might not necessarily have like the major placements and isn't necessarily talking industry talk, but is creating value in a different way where he's doing tutorial videos. He's doing, videos on how to do things that he was able to accomplish. And I really respect that. And I think that ties into our last episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so what's your opinion, Atlas? And I'll give you mine. What's your opinion on, I don't even know what to label it, but it's sort of like the alternative music producer influencer, where you're not taking the route of I'm successful in terms of placements and plaques and stuff, and I'm not teaching you how to do that, but I'm going into this YouTube space and I'm creating value in a different way. I'm creating value via tutorial videos and kind of like what BusyWorks Beats does and that space, which I like because it's basically like more driven toward technical kind of stuff. So do you think that that's like a good option for a producer to like dive into that space if they feel like they can do that well?
100%, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Any option that makes you feel well. There's no limit in music. It's art. You can paint in any color you want, any direction you want. So go for it. Yeah. If that's what makes you happy and that's what is paying your bills, and go for it. I don't think there should ever be a limit. And then if you change your mind and you decide you want to go the placement route, go for that too.
Yeah.
Why not switch it up? There's no there's no rule book in this thing, you know. So, and you know, think about the guys who, when they saw the first, when YouTube first came out, you know, and like Google bought it and all that, like the first, I'm sure there was the first person, the first producer out there that was like, that's kind of cool. Let me put a video of how to, or maybe a guitar player, of how to do this like chord progression and where to pitch your fingers and stuff like that. And then those how-to videos just skyrocketed out of here. So
yeah,
I think it's a great move.
Yeah, I think you know,
it's a great move.
If you have a skill set and you're good at something and you have the ability to teach someone or show someone how to do it, that's always going to be a good thing. I think the confusion 100%. Comes when it's I hate using the phrase producer influencer, but when you're influencing people
on something that you haven't,
do something that you haven't done before,
right?
But maybe you've read about somewhere. Okay, that's where it gets conflicted.
Okay, you know what this reminds me of, Il? This reminds me of those like YouTube ads, like in between your videos, where it's like the guy steps out of his like 2019 Ferrari or Lambo, you know, and he's like, "Have you ever thought about making, you know, $5,000 a day, you know,
residual
whatever
income?"
Yeah, exactly. It's like that because he's read a lot of books and, you know, maybe was a understudy from a multi-zillionaire guy. When you do it that way in music, that I'm not really into that. Yeah. That's like super whack and phony and like, come on, dude, like. Yeah. Like, I'll show you how to get placements. No. You know, with
you're not
major
showing
labels.
Anyone how to get placements.
And then, but the wording, it's like the wording they use is like, we'll show you how to shop to labels, such labels as, you know, Taylor Swift and Epic and this and Sony and Atlantic
for a small fee of
and it's like
$14.99.
It's like, yeah, you're gonna pitch it to them, but that doesn't mean I'm getting any. You know what I'm saying?
You like my infomercial voice?
What was it?
For a small fee of $14.99 per month. $14.99 per month.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
We're stupid. Yeah. So I think there's a fine line, like you said.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, there's a fine line.
It's how, I mean, it's if you're teaching someone, okay, like if you're teaching someone like, and I'm just throwing it out there, like how to put a rolling 808 and make the bass bend and sound bend and all that kind of stuff, like, and you're showing someone how to do that. All right, like that's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, but if you word it as, you know, I'm going to show you how to do the bend your 808 and make you make an extra $1,000 on your producer fee. It's like, come on, like,
what?
Like,
come on, dude.
What are you talking about?
Now you're putting like a residual sort of like, there's a catch.
Yeah, it's like it went from, oh, well, thank you for that knowledge to like, oh, well, now you're like putting money behind it. It just kind of gets weird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so the first question, I want to jump into some Q&A. The first question I have here, this is actually by my dude, Simon Servita. Okay. Shout out to Simon. He's another guy who's infiltrated YouTube and done a really good job owning that space. I think it's important to own that space.
Absolutely.
Right? If you're going to do it, own it.
Facts.
And Simon is owning it. So his question was, how do you deal with people reselling and re-uploading your drum kits? That's a tough one. So I read that question earlier, and I was trying to think of the answer. And basically, Simon, and to the producer community, how do you deal with people that take, let's say, a BLAP kit, one of my drum kits, takes it, resells it, or re-uploads it as a new kit and makes money off of it? There's good news and bad news, and mostly bad news. The bad news is that there really is no way to properly control and regulate that entirely. It's really, really impossible to do that. So to answer your question, I don't have a specific way to deal with it completely. You know, I have a team. We do takedowns and DMCAs and stuff like that. You know, I have a really good attorney. But to try to chase everyone down, it's really difficult.
Now, this is just so we're clear and the listeners are clear. When you're talking, you're not talking about sample packs. You're talking about drum kits and
kits.
One hit shots.
Sample packs too.
Really?
Sample packs too.
Even like a melody, like if you did a chord progression. Yep. Wow.
People will take it. So it's really a desperate, dirty ecosystem with no regulation. So it's really difficult to answer that because there's literally no regulation yet on it. All I can do on my end to try to alleviate the losses that I'm seeing is just being consistent and releasing more stuff, and really just our podcast and just like having this conversation. Someone of my status and someone with influence, I always want this to be a conversation because chances are there's a percentage of you guys listening to this right now who have done this. You've taken a BWB kit or a BLAP kit or a kit from Wanda or a kit from online, took it and then packaged it in your own kit and then resold it and made a little bit of bread.
That's crazy.
And if you're listening to this right now and you've done it, I don't want to make you feel bad, but what I will say that if you were to ask me if that's frowned upon, I would tell you, yes, it is frowned upon. So this is what I suggest. Go crazy on your drums. Go crazy on the manipulation. But create product that is original enough and manipulated enough to be original so that you're contributing something of value to the community as opposed to just taking a sound, renaming it, reselling it. Doing that is just like you're bottom of the barrel.
Okay, so let me ask you a question though. You put out a kit. Let's just say it's a drum kit. It's not a sample kit, right? You put out a kit, has whatever the BLAP kick one sound. Somebody else takes that same sound, puts it on their hip hop box one kit, whatever the hell the name is. That same sound goes in there. They sell it. Okay. Now, as far as you like fighting that, I could see it, it's a kick. It's not really, it's kind of like hard to do that, right? Yeah. Now, if you did a sample pack where you had like 4-bar, you playing progressions in it, right? You can copyright that. Can you copyright that? Okay, so you get that copy written, right? Then Joe Schmo makes his kit, literally takes that melody that you made.
I know where this is going.
Copies and pastes it, puts it out and sells it. You can prove that you can prove.
You know that song, Who Let the Dogs Out?
Yes.
Who let the dogs out?
Roof.
Yeah. That's what I do. I let the dogs out.
All right. So okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you can't do something when it comes to that. Okay, but as far as like, okay, so that you can fight, but if they're taking like a kick or a snare or a hi-hat,
it's impossible. Listen,
okay.
You can take a sound anywhere, regardless of where you take it. If you manipulate a one shot enough and dismantle it and make it something new, you can't. It's hard to have a case against that. It's almost like, and I don't recommend this, but it's almost like going to a 5-star restaurant. Ordering the whole Bronzino fish, right?
With the head and the tail.
With the head, like their recipe, the chef is really proud to give you this dish. You take the dish, you throw it in a bag, you go home, you chop it up.
Oh my God.
You put a little paprika on it. You put it on the fucking fryer.
Oh shit.
You deep fry it a little bit.
Oh my God.
Put a little bit of Spam on top. Put a little sugar. Put a little paprika. Put a little salt. Maybe a little soy sauce. You throw it in the frying pan. You put it in your bowl. And then you serve it as something new. It might be disgusting. Fuck off! But it's something that you took from someone and manipulated enough to be disgusting enough to be original.
I'm sure there's been a lot of producer beefs.
No pun intended. Yes.
You know what I mean? Like someone's like, "Yo, that's my this. Yo, I heard that. What?
For sure.
That's from my kit from this one."
So
and
yeah.
Okay.
So again, I think the moral of this conversation is it's almost like the dark web in a way, where there's this ecosystem of drum kits, sample packs, sounds, selling rebuying, selling, downloading, manipulating, reselling. A lot of this is happening in the market, and even for someone like me, it's really hard to completely regulate it, and so I don't have like a clear answer as to what to do. But I think it starts with us, the people, and I think it does start with people like me and people who have influence to create the conversation,
right,
and say, guys, we got to stop, whoring ourselves out here. Let's bring it back to quality. Let's bring it back to originality. Let's create a product that all of us can use and be proud of.
Yeah,
and we can all still make money off of it, but the motivation is more so to contribute to the community. And if you're not motivated as a sound designer to contribute to the community something valuable, then you don't deserve to be paid off of it. So that's my personal opinion. So
I mean, real quick while we're on the topic,
please,
would you think the best thing to do is, don't do drum kick in the snare, like start focusing on melodies that you could copyright, so then you do own that. So if someone does take it, you can technically go at them, or if they use it on a song that they weren't allowed to, you can go at them, I guess, as well.
That's why sample packs are getting more and more popular.
Right, exactly.
Because there's a little more regulation.
Right.
You can copyright your melodies. You can tell more if like someone takes it,
right,
manipulates it, and tries to resell it.
Exactly.
So
okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
So this is an ongoing thing. Cool. Our next question, this one's interesting. This is by Jamie Clay, and he basically says, how do you go from being a producer who sells beats on YouTube and BeatStars to being a successful industry producer?
Sounds like every BLAPCHAT episode we've ever done from the day one.
I think one pretty decent example of that is my guy Taz Taylor, who was, Internet Money, one of the first guys to really embrace the YouTube space and the beat selling, leasing space, and basically made a decision to put that to the back burner and focus on being I hate the word industry producer, but basically focus on like getting placements and being a bigger producer in that space
and signing other acts
and it seems like it's working for him. So I would say analyze and look at Taz, see what he's doing, and not to sort of like humble brag, but I think to some extent I've done something similar as well. I was never really selling on BeatStars, but when I first started, I was selling beats, leasing beats, selling beats on an independent level, through my email, through social media, and I personally made the conscious decision to not do that anymore. And I don't want that to be this like etched in stone message of, well, if you want to be a successful industry producer, you can't sell beats online. We have a whole episode about that. So I will say this, that when you do go from YouTube selling, BeatStars, leasing, stuff like that, look at people who have successfully done that, and then use that as like information and as a determining factor of what you should do next. I mean, good examples are Taz Taylor, Keo, Old Town Road, Superstar O, Dream Life,
Nick Paps, Papa Mitru,
Papa Mitru. I mean, those are 5 guys right there that you can analyze their pathways and then see what you can do. It would be unfair for me to give you like a one-hit answer,
right? But
what I will say is that there is possibly a world where you can maintain and do both. I think that's like the best case scenario is you have beats on BeatStars and YouTube, you're generating residual income from leases, but then you also have major placements and you're balancing the two. So if you can figure out a way to balance the two, I think that's cool. I think if you can maintain a strong brand in doing that, that's amazing as well. So figure out a way for you to be able to do that on your own and report back to us, because I think that's like an ongoing kind of like anomaly that's happening in the community. What do you think, At?
I think exactly what you said. The only thing I would add on top of that is you got to get out there in these streets, man. You got to start shaking hands and kissing babies. You know, you got to go to the events. You know, if you got to pay $100 to showcase, we'll pay that $100. You know what I'm saying? You're going to find like-minded people and someone in there who might change your life. You know, so, you know, get out of the studio, you know, get out of mom's house, get out of your crib or your basement, wherever you're at, and go to an open mic and just meet people. Like, a lot of this is relationships. Yeah, you know, you're going to get the diamonds in the roughs of all those guys we talked about earlier who are all amazing, but a lot of it's going to be, besides online wittiness and doing all that, is you have to be out at these events. You have to go find out who's popping, who's someone in your town that's having an event. Go to the event and try to meet that person, or meet their assistant, or meet their manager, or their lawyer, or somebody. You know, so if you do all that on top of what I just said, I think it's only going to help your chances.
Exactly. All right, this next question is by Jordan J. Everything all right? Okay. So this next question is by Jordan J. Basically, he's asking, what inspires you to stay creative, and any major setbacks / struggles in the beginning of becoming a producer? So I guess that's two questions. So how do you stay creative? Well, and I want you to answer this too, Ad,
sure,
in terms of, because you're a creative dude, you're a songwriter 100%. As well, but I also want you to speak on the creativity of like the different events you're doing and how you come up with this stuff.
Sure.
But for me, staying creative for me, knock on wood, I really haven't gone through any periods of time where it was hard for me to be creative. I think for me, the way I approach my own creativity is I've programmed my brain to not be afraid to like try something and like be really shitty at it. And I think because I'm fearless in that kind of way, that opens up more doors and more access to interesting things. One example is, let's say for a whole week I've just been doing trap beats, right? And then the following, and I make like 100 beats in 1 week, all trap, same feeling. The following week, Monday, I'm like, fuck, I've run out of ideas. I'm bored.
Trapped out.
I'm trapped out. I feel trapped.
Oh, there you go.
You like that?
I like that.
Do you like that?
Feel
Josh,
trapped.
Do you like that?
When you make too much trap, you can feel trapped at times. It's kind of hard.
Okay, so I feel trapped. How do I get out of this funk? My fearlessness of trying something new and not being afraid to be shitty at something allows for me to walk away from the trap space and go into a different creative space. So then I can say on that Monday, I can say, all right, I'm trapped out. I know that's my comfort zone, but I'm trapped out. Let me make a fucking
a pop
house
record
beat.
or house beat. Okay.
Let me make 120 BPM deep house beat, very repetitive, couple chords, some ARP basses, different type of drums. And like the first few I make are probably not going to be that good, but at that point I'm like opening a whole new door to creativity, and I'm like kind of using different colors and palettes and paintbrushes. And that allows for me to break up the monotony and be creative at all times. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's my personal way of staying creative, is pushing my boundaries and not being afraid to like try new shit.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
What about you, Ad? How do you approach the creativity in terms of like all these different events you're doing and all these people you collaborate with? What's your motivation behind that?
Man, that's a good question. I think it still allows me to be creative. I just kind of use my creativeness in a different way. You know, all these things that I do is still, believe it or not, even the roller disco party. Obviously, there's music involved. It's in a nightclub. There's music playing. There's, you know, booking artists to perform and DJs and stuff like that. So it allows me to still be in one part of the music game, but it's not sitting there creating a song. You know what I mean? But I'm still meeting managers and label people and artists and producers and all kinds of things. And it also allows me to, I've met people from my, beginning events that have allowed me to do other events with them that have just kept kind of growing. So it's like, you start with one little event, you might meet someone there, so you still keep that one event going, but then someone else wants to team up with you and do something else, so you have your one event going.
So things are moving rapidly.
Yeah, and then you're doing one event there, and then it's just... So yeah, I don't know. I'm just always trying to think of something. I wish I had like a real solid answer for people, but it's just being creative and being open-minded and allowing yourself to work with other people. Because in the beginning, when I started doing events, I kind of wanted to hold everything for myself. I didn't want to share anything. I wanted like bigger percentage of the bar and like this and all that kind of stuff. And it's now it's like, nah, man, like, yeah, man, come on, let's go. What do you want to do? You want to do something? You want to do something? What you trying to do? Oh, that sounds kind of cool. I have a relationship over here at this, and you know that DJ, great. Well, let's have them come on board. I don't know. So it's just always, and it keeps me super busy. Yeah.
One thing I noticed about you, Ad, is you do things that are exciting to you.
Yeah.
Like if
so much fun.
If it's something that doesn't excite you or doesn't like make you go, yeah, like what are we doing? What right. You usually don't do it, which I think is a good approach to anything.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I get asked by a lot of artists like, yo, can you put a show on for me? Can I? Yeah. Do I? No. I don't want to. That doesn't excite me. You know what I mean? Like doing a masquerade party on Halloween, that excites me. New Year's Eve party, roller skating party. Oh, dude, that's awesome. That excites me. A comedy show, dope. Like, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, engineer, producer, event, battle, whatever it is, awesome. I love that kind of stuff. Podcast, awesome, great. Yeah. So it's more, it keeps me involved too and helps me I'll not only be creative, but also pull the shots, like be the shot caller who's saying that, okay, we start at this time, we're doing it at this time. And also, as opposed to me, having to wait for someone to allow me to, I have to wait for approval from this, promoter or this guy. It's like, no, I just do it all myself. It's crazy.
I think that's probably like the number one most important factor to possess is excitement. Because when you and that's good for business because when you enter a business venture or you have an idea that you want to execute and you want to involve people, it's so important for you to be excited about it. Because if you're not excited about it, you're not going to work as hard, and if you don't work as hard, you legitimately decrease your chances of success by at least, I would go as far as to say 80%. Like a drastic down, like decrease in success rate because you just don't care.
Sometimes I'd rather deal, actually not sometimes, 99% of the times, I'd rather deal with a young, hungry, spark in their eye, just savage, ready to go, with whatever you need, young, intern kind of vibe. Than work with someone who's already has probably a little bit more, maybe about just as much relationships that I have. They have a little bit of an ego. You know what I mean? Fuck that. I'm going to go with the young, hungry guy, and we're going to war.
Yep. And you're going to grow with that person.
Exactly. And they feel obligated to you because you were the first person, who gave them a shot, or the first person. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even like I say, even with Ill, like, Ill's always going to be my brother forever. Like, he, took me in, like, and there's guys like Cap who say that to me. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And Jackson who say that to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, if it wasn't for you, man, who took me, I don't even know where I'd be. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good feeling.
Yeah. Feels good.
It's a good feeling. Like, and then they're going to pass that down to their younger generation guys. You know what I'm saying? And if we can keep that going, that's where everyone wins.
Everyone wins.
Everyone wins.
It's almost like
there's enough to go around.
It's almost like the true human pyramid scheme that actually works and that's actually good for the universe. Like, it's not like a pyramid's money-making scheme. It's actually like the way of life. It's the circle of life.
I wish you had the song. We could play
wish I had.
Not getting sued.
The Lion King theme on deck. No. But that's the circle of life. So the other question he asked was, what are some major setbacks and struggles in the beginning becoming a music producer? Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Which one do you want to
There's
talk about?
There's a lot. There's a lot, buddy. I think people who ask, and this is no knock to you, Jordan, I think people that ask that question are afraid to deal with the struggles that they know they're going to have
Right.
when you want to pursue a career in music production. So let me be very straight and frank and very specific with some of the struggles that you probably are going to go through.
100%.
Number one is money.
Number one and big one.
Big one. Lack of money, lack of funds. That's a really tough one. Now, nowadays, in the music production world, there's ways to generate income
It's true.
relatively quickly that you didn't really have access to do as early as 5 or 10 years ago. So the good news is that with beat leasing, with sample pack selling, and that you can go look into that stuff and figure out ways to monetize quicker than usual. Okay? So there's good news and bad news. Bad news is that you're going to be broke. The good news is that there's ways to generate some income pretty quickly, you know? And we talk about that on our podcast. Listen to our episodes. Pretty obvious. The second struggle is not having any contacts. Like, you start from ground zero. You don't know anyone.
Zero.
You know 0 people. Maybe you have 10 followers on Instagram. Maybe 100 followers. So it's having the confidence and the patience and the hunger to build up from 0. And the hardest part is building from 0. Once you're at 0, and then you build the confidence, and then now you know one person. Maybe you go to one of Atlas's events, and then you meet one person there who plays guitar,
Right.
who's trying to learn how to make beats, and then switch phone numbers. You live in Brooklyn too? Me too. We should link up sometime. Now you know one person. And then you guys link up, you hit it off, you guys are making a couple records, you're gaining confidence, and then maybe through the guitar player you meet his buddy who raps. Now you know 2 people, and then it keeps going. So, and
through your buddy who plays the guitar, why don't you make a guitar kit with him?
Split it 50-50.
50-50. You show, you record him in your studio. Play those riffs.
Yeah.
You do how you do, make the folders and set the art. All he has to come and do and play, and you do the rest. Put it on the sites, and you split it 50-50. That's another little something coming. And imagine if you do that with a violin player, and then a piano player, and then a bass player.
Yep. Now you got yourself a squad. And then now you're saving up for a camera or your iPhone.
Yep.
Now you're filming it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Now people are seeing you, he's a producer, but he's working with all these musicians. Whoa. Oh, there's sample packs too. And then maybe a week goes by and you have 0 sales because you only have 50 followers on Instagram. But then a month later, you keep building content, and then a month later, all of a sudden you have 250 followers and 3 sales. Now you just made $90, which is more than 0, right? So the beginning, to most people, the beginning sucks because it's a lot of building from scratch. It's a lot of struggle. It's a lot of not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
So it's very uncomfortable. But once you get into your momentum and you start to feel it, and you start to flow. I mean, it's like Bruce Lee. It's like you flow like water.
Yeah.
When things start to flow, and you start to really witness increases, small incremental increases, followers went up, sales went up a little bit. Last week I knew 5 people. This week I know 7. And you start to see this progress. Last week I had 3 beats on my hard drive that I liked. This week I have 6. All these small incremental things, by the time you know it, after 12 months, which is not a long time, by the way. A lot of you guys think 12 months is a long time. That's nothing. It's nothing. 12 months goes by. Now you have 500 followers or 400. Now you have almost 100 beats. So the beginning sucks because if you're going to feel lost, you're going to feel alone. You're going to feel confused. You're going to be broke. You're going to be probably fearful of the future. But you have to embrace these things. Everyone goes through them. Every single person. But once you go through that, you literally only have to do that once. Because once you get your momentum going and you create a little bit of movement, enough momentum to now be running, now it's off to the races. Now the only person that can stop you is you. It's like starting off crawling, and then you walk, and then you're picking up the pace, and then now all of a sudden you have a light jog, and then now you're sprinting. And the only thing that can stop you is you. So that would be what I would say is like, it's going to suck, and you have to be okay with that, and you have to know that there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
And for some people, it sucks more than others.
It's true. A lot of people give up when that happens. They don't come back from that.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So moving on to the Q&A. All right. This one is by RXAP. And he basically said, I want you to answer this, start this one at, what's the best way to enter the music industry, especially as a beginning artist or producer? It's like a general question, but...
Well, I think first you have to figure out what you want to be. I mean, are you trying to be an artist, or are you trying to be a producer? You can be both. That's cool. I mean, that's totally possible, but I think the first thing you got to do is intern somewhere. Intern somewhere. Get an internship.
Find an opportunity, right?
You got to find an internship somewhere, anywhere. I don't care if it's Joe Schmo's studio on some little crappy studio. You got to start somewhere. And then when you're in there, it's not about moving up as quickly as you can. It's about making as many contacts as you can while you're in there, and then maintaining those contacts. I mean, it sounds pretty 101, but just a lot of people just don't think that way. So I would say definitely intern somewhere, meet people, and then, you know, if you're an artist, then put out songs and, you know, do some shows locally. If you're a producer, find some artists to work with or musicians to work with locally. And of course the internet.
Yep. Take advantage of the internet.
That's, you know, it's a pretty generic question, but yeah.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is of all this stuff we talk about on this podcast and all these questions we answer and 110 episodes, the answers, if you guys have noticed, the answers never change.
They never change.
And the reason why they never change is because they're correct.
They work.
If you ask me what 1 + 1 equals, like in a non-trick question way,
right?
1 + 1 = 2, right? I'm going to always give you that same answer. It's always going to be 2.
Correct.
So I think that's an interesting point as well, is you guys should really be mindful of these things that you're wondering and these questions that you have always tie into this core of answers that are always going to be true, right? Check this question out. This is by not 8 beats. He said, how did you start off? What was your journey like in the music industry? And how did you reach out and get your music recognized by artists? Same thing.
Same answer.
Same answer.
Yeah.
I worked hard on my craft. I went out and met people. First person I ever knew was my man Phil, who was a DJ in Philadelphia. He used to DJ nightclubs. He was very loopy with the Philadelphia scene. I was living in New Jersey at the time. I knew Phil because he is from Jersey, and he's a few years older than me, and he used to DJ all the parties. So he was like the man. He moved to Philly, started DJing parties out there. I used to drive to Philly and go to his parties. That was when I started producing. Word got out that there was this Asian kid named Illmind who has beats, and I started working with one artist and then 2 rappers, and then all of a sudden I'm creating a little name for myself. Same answer. Same fucking answer.
That's it. You got to get out there. You got to meet people, and you got to work.
Crazy. Here's another question. 3 ways to grow your client base, whether that's for beats, mixing, or mastering.
What does it sound the same? It's like,
Same
yo,
answer.
I feel like I'm repeating. We're going to have a lot of repeat answers here.
Yeah, 1 + 1 = 2.
Oh, man.
Let's get specific on this, though, really quickly. 3 ways to grow your client base. Number 1,
Referrals.
referrals is huge. I mean, you're speaking to Atlas, the master salesman here.
Referrals all day, baby.
Referrals, and I would say referrals kind of happening in and within Instagram, right?
Yeah.
In a way, because referrals happen in person. It's like me saying, yo, Atlas, I had a cheesesteak over at this
not
place.
really. They can tag you on a post.
Or a tag on a post. So it's online, right? I think people get overwhelmed by what platform to go to.
Right.
I'm always going to say right now, like Instagram is just so great. But the reality of it is that you should be on every platform.
100%.
You should be on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, so all that shit. But so I think the approach really is building one or all of those platforms and being very clean with branding yourself as someone who takes their craft seriously. If your Instagram handle is Joe Schmo Beats 45 and the last time you posted was November 2018, and then I go to your Twitter and your Twitter is Joe Schmo 45_61, and you tweet about non-producer things, how the fuck do you expect to get
People are
clients?
confused, yeah.
Right?
Sure.
So you have to kind of put yourself in the consumer's shoes and ask yourself, what can I offer? Right?
100%.
Yeah. What can I offer?
100%.
And how can I offer something that isn't a not as good version of something that's already popping? I think that's important too.
That is a good first. Oh.
You know? Like,
okay, you know what that could be? It could be a barter. It's like, you know what? I know you want that video guy, but I do video too. Yeah, I'm not as great as that guy, but I won't charge you.
That's how you bring value.
You know, I won't charge you.
Yeah.
But you have a pretty decent video, and I can get it to you pretty quickly, and I can meet you tomorrow. Are you available? And
Yeah.
what's better for you? You always got to give them the which clothes. What's better for you, morning, afternoon, or
Exactly.
evening?
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, Atlas,
Yeah.
and tell me if this ties into your sales background. You wanna infiltrate them emotionally.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have to figure out why they're there.
Like,
What brought them to you?
Who's choosing you as a producer over Pharrell or over, Metro or something? What's going to make that person choose you over them? And I think a lot of it comes down to like the emotional, like how can I impact this person emotionally enough for them to choose me?
Yeah, I mean,
And I think that's kind of what it comes down to.
Hey, listen, if they like you, they'll buy from you.
I think that's one of the greatest
You know what I
quotes
mean?
of all time.
You remember what I said? We've
Yeah.
said it a million times. If someone likes you, it's very difficult for them to say no to you. So the first thing you got to figure out is, how do I get on their good side? I know it sounds, shady or this, but it's the truth. It's like, how, or at least get my name to the point where when they hear it, they don't feel negative about it. It's like, yeah. You know what? Yeah,
I do like him.
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, let's get him. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to be all in their face. You could be really cool with their right-hand person who talks about you a lot to them in passing, to the point that when your name comes up again, it's like, remember the guy I was telling you about? Oh, that's the one that's the guy. Oh, yes, how you doing? Yeah, you know what I mean? So you just want to have a good reputation, but also just kind of be out there, but not be pushy.
This is why emotion is such a big part of this, and having emotions, because when we talked about this on podcasts multiple times, but being frustrated, like the very emotion of frustration is like shooting yourself twice, because
100%.
if you're carrying around frustrated energy,
it's the worst.
it's really hard for people to like you.
It's the
and
worst.
if they don't like you, they're not going to hire you. If they don't like you, they're not going to pay you. Number one. Number two, the second shot is frustration makes you do dumb shit.
100%.
And it also makes you it makes you decide to make decisions that are very, very, very dumb.
100%.
Right?
And in the music business, you can't take it to the heart like that, man.
Yeah.
Like a lot of stuff happens, you know, you got to just let it go. You just got to let it go and keep it moving and literally take it like a grain of salt, because there's so much out there. It's like, all right, well, this one's not fucking with me. It's cool.
Yeah.
There's, 3 billion other people that I can go find, you know what I mean, who are going to fuck with me. So you really got to let it go.
Exactly.
And you got to always look at it half full, not half empty. It's always got to be half full and continuing to grow, even if it's slowly. It's the only way to look at it. No other options.
Perspective is life.
Yeah.
Like, life is nothing but what we perceive. Right? Like, and I know we kind of touched on this like a little bit in the past, but like, if you perceive everything negative, then life is negative.
100%.
And life sucks. Like,
100%.
as put it this way, as amazing as my life seems, I'm not about to go real dark on you guys. I'm not.
You're
about
suicidal.
To say,
We all know. No, I'm
as,
just kidding.
as great as it seems, I have a very, very dark side.
There's a gun in the freaking green room, guys. He's had enough.
And it's
no,
really,
I'm kidding,
this ties into the whole like mental health stuff that people are crazy about nowadays, which is true. And it's very deep.
100%.
But what I will say is that perspective is very impactful, because there's, believe it or not, and I'll use myself as an example, there's a pretty good amount of things that I can tell you guys right now, which I would never do because it's personal stuff, and even business stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I can mention that will make you go, yo, damn, like,
really? Shit, I had
really?
no idea.
You're dealing with that?
Yeah.
But I don't. Not only do I not focus on that stuff, but I don't let that stuff determine the way I live my life. And that's why my life is so good right now, because my perspective is the positive in everything that I'm doing. Right?
Fact.
And like the stuff I'm talking about isn't like fucking do or die, like really bad. Like I didn't kill anyone, or like nothing crazy. But yeah, like there's definitely, everyone has stuff. Right? Oh, yeah. So you're either going to put energy into that stuff or put energy into the good stuff. And so far in my experience in the past 10 or 15 years, putting attention into the good stuff has done pretty fucking well for me. Yeah. And I don't think I'm going to stop that anytime soon. And you shouldn't. And it's kind of, I have a friend. He's more of like a new friend. Like when I say new, I mean within the past maybe like 6-7 months. Like we've gotten really, really cool. Oh, I like new friends. You know what it reminded me of? The Instagram where like the heart, the thing where the heart comes up and it makes that noise. Anyway, I like new friends. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh man. So anyway, but like, I have sort of a new friend in the past 6 months. Anyway, go ahead. Anyway, he's my homie. Shout out. Anyway, I don't want to say his name, but anyway, dude, like this last week, he's been complaining to me about his like, spouse situation. Like, it was just nonstop complaining, and he had to be like totally fine before that, but just this week, he's just been to the point where like I had to tell him. I'm like, yes, like I said it really, really nice, and I was basically what I said to him was like, look, like if you want to get it out within the first 5-10 minutes, go for it. Fine, get it out, say what you want, or like,
get it off your chest. But after that, I'm done. Like, I can't keep hearing about this anymore.
And that's a good, like, to be honest and transparent about that is.
And can I tell you, since I said that to him, like, when we hang out more, like, we have way more fun because it might come up in the beginning and then we'll even joke and I go, all right, you got 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
But it's like a known thing, right?
Yep.
And then boom, left it out, and then boom, we hang out, everything's good, we'll be in the studio, everything's fine. You know what I'm saying? But like, I had to let him know, like, homie, like,
listen.
And I tell him, I'm only telling you this because I feel like you're my brother. I would never say this to anyone else, and I would hope that you would tell me if you saw me getting a little like, yo, you know, and not gonna say it in front, like, pull me to the side and be like, yo, you know what, like, everything good, like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you need just that little push, you know what I'm saying? So I feel you on that 100%.
You know, let me ask you guys a question. There's a reason. What's more of a statement? There's a reason why therapists make $200, $300, $400, $500 an hour.
Yeah.
Because they get paid to absorb the shit
a lot
and the energy that people want to release. And when you have a friend or a family member or someone you care about that dumps that energy on you consistently, it's going to take a toll on you.
That's a big fact.
And so I think that's like a huge issue that's just happening in the community that people don't really talk about. And I think people have to start being mindful of that, because you can be a really talented producer or an artist and you're doing your thing, you're on your fucking P's and Q's, you're fucking grinding, you're making a little bit of income. But then you have that one person in your life that's like dragging you down, but you feel obligated to continue to entertain it. So they're dragging you down and they're literally affecting your life.
100%.
From a literal sense to a physical sense.
Emotional.
They're affecting emotion. They're affecting your business decisions. And you could potentially be happier and further along in your career if you made changes with that person. And I think your approach is good. Like, I think it starts with like a conversation. And you don't have to like cut the person off.
No, I waited. I let him get it. You know, I was like, I waited.
Sometimes you do have to, though.
No,
you know.
Now I do, no problem. But I had to let it get to the point where I just had enough. And then I did it in a very like mature like way. You know what I'm saying? And it was the best thing I could have did, man. Best thing. And you got to make sure you have that kind of relationship with somebody to do that. You're not going to just meet someone and then like be like, pull them to the side and be like, dude, you're talking too much about it. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. It's gotta be somebody you trust.
Because look, and if this makes me fucking heartless or seem like I'm like the Tin Man, then so be it. But you know what? It's really difficult to empower and help people that you care about when you're running on E.
Facts.
When your tank is empty, you can't fucking help anyone. So I'm always gonna fight for being selfish enough to say, I'm gonna fucking do me first. You
have to do you first.
Let me do me. Let me fill my tank up. Pause, I guess. Let me fill myself up to the point where I'm good, and that will give me the superpower to be able to help others that I care about, other people that are like-minded, strangers, whatever it is. It's going to allow for me to perform at the highest level to where I can maximize the amount of people and maximize the type of impact I can make on people, whether it's my family or my friends or strangers. And I can't do that if I'm running on empty. So I'm always going to say prioritize yourself first.
You have to.
So that you can maneuver in that way.
I mean, if you're not prioritizing yourself, then what are you doing?
You're basically
you're living for other people.
You're not living
Who wants to do that?
A full life.
That's terrible. That's a terrible, terrible way to live. So I agree with you. And sometimes it takes a while for you to figure that out because you've been trying to help other people for so long. One day you might.
But then you feel resentful and you gotta help all these people. But like, what about me?
No. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, resentful, or I mean, you could feel like, you know what? You feel good. You know what? I've helped these people. Now it's time to take care of myself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And when you do that and you put yourself first, you'll be surprised. A lot of stuff flourishes. A lot of amazing things start happening when you put yourself. And you got to remember, most of the time, these people are only coming to you because you were that dude or that person. So like, if you start losing that glow or you start losing that, thing, then they're going to be like, not really want to fuck with you. They were only fucking with you subconsciously because they were trying to get something out of you almost. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it like that, but it's the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Truth.
Everyone is always looking for some way to benefit themselves at the end of the day. So I think you have to start with yourself from the beginning, 100%. Yeah. And then you can start helping other people when you feel good about it and you have the actual resources to do it. You don't want to fake the funk like you can help people when you really can't help them.
No, you can't.
That's terrible.
That's a terrible
just
place.
Gassing people up and like killing their dreams.
That's a terrible place. That's like trying to feed people and tell people you'll feed them. Right. Meanwhile, you have a can of corned beef.
Right. And you show up and there's like families and you have one can.
Corned beef's good though.
Yeah, corned beef
put corned beef on
like
rice
with
some ketchup.
Oh, what? Not the ketchup part, but
I'll put ketchup in that bitch. White rice? Shit.
Want some white? Oh.
Put a little sugar?
Mom used to make that.
A little sugar? On the corned beef? Nah, not on the corned beef. Maybe on the Spam, but not the corned beef. Shout out to all of our vegans. Sorry, that was very offensive. So sorry about that. Are we ready for Blap or Crap?
Yeah, let's do it.
I think we are.
I'm ready, man. I'm so ready.
Man, that was a special conversation. I think there's a lot to think about.
Sure.
A lot of really, really good insight in there. But we are at the portion of the podcast where we are about to do Blap or Crap.
Blap or Crap. Welcome to Blap or Crap.
All right, so you're probably wondering what the fuck is happening. So this is what we're doing, guys. Every episode, or almost every episode, we have a segment that we like to end off the episode with, a segment called Blap or Crap. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to look into our beat submissions from you guys. We're going to choose one of your beats randomly, okay? We're going to play a snippet. And we're going to critique it. And if we like the beat, we're going to give you a blap. If we don't like the beat, we're going to give you a crap. We'll give you a little bit of constructive criticism.
Definitely.
Or destructive criticism.
Ooh, that was hard. That was a bar.
And we're going to rock like that. So if you're interested in submitting a beat for this Blap or Crap segment to be chosen randomly in the future, all you have to do is send an MP3 file to info@BLAPCHAT.com, info@BLAPCHAT.com. Our servers are pretty full right now because we have a lot of MP3s. So if your MP3 doesn't go through, you can send an email to info@BLAPCHAT.com with a link.
SoundCloud link,
a Stream link, a Dropbox link, or SoundCloud link is cool.
That's good.
To your beat, and this is very important. Subject line should be Blap or Crap. So make sure in the subject in the email you write Blap or Crap.
Or else it doesn't get opened.
Or we will not open it. You will be ignored. We will find you.
Yeah.
And we will steal all of your food from your refrigerator.
Yeah.
It's number one.
Definitely an automatic brown
Number
paper
two,
bag.
we're going to take your computer. Okay. Number three, we're going to raid your hard drive.
Oh.
Okay. Number four, we're going to hack into your Instagram. Okay. Number five, after we hack into your Instagram, we're going to delete all your photos, right? Number six, we're going to post one photo up, right? Number seven, the photo will be a photo of a cucumber.
Yeah.
Okay?
As it should be.
Okay? So that's it.
Terrible life, that is. Terrible life.
So make sure you put Blap or Crap in the subject line. Our first submission for today is by HVH. Here we go. Struggle and pain in this beat.
Yeah.
It's emotional. I just think it's a little diggy, right? It's
like a little flat.
Yeah. A little flat. It's flat.
Even that bass is not.
Yeah.
It's not really hitting like a.
You gotta talk about robbery in this.
Death.
Yeah.
Need some death talk.
Yeah. Pulled up to that Best Buy. Took the TV, throw it rock it, rock it. 20-inch TV. Put it in the plug. Socket.
Oh. I knew you were going there. That was hard. I knew you were going there. My man went in, son. My man went in.
Put it in the plug.
Socket. Fuck. I don't know how I feel about that line, but anyway, that's moving right along. Yo, keep it going. I don't even know why I said it. Whatever. Let's just keep next.
Okay.
Next one.
Okay,
next song. Next song, man. Next fucking
I'm
song.
gonna.
Oh
crap
wait.
it.
Oh wait. Yeah.
Real quick. I'm gonna crap it. I like the melodies. I think there was emotion. Drums can use a little more movement. Just a little more umph. A little more umph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say make that bass hit a little more. It was kind of flat.
Rolling 808s.
I mean, you know, I'm all about it.
Maybe.
I'm always about that.
All right, our next submission is by Grandma Moses. I like that name.
Got a ring?
It has a ring to it.
Got a ring.
Grandma Moses. I like that. Okay, here we go. This just lifted me up.
I wonder if it's a girl or a guy producer.
We'll see.
We'll see by what? The beat's going to tell you if it's going to be on there.
Here you go.
Okay.
Ice cream. Ice cream truck.
Cream truck.
Got a buck. Yeah. Give me that loot. Give me that loot.
Hey.
Give me that strawberry ice cream flute. Yeah, I like that fruit. Dairy free, gluten free. Oh my God, check it out. I'm vegan, motherfucker. Know that I don't play around. I don't play around with my ice cream. Oreo cookie. Yeah, Oreo cookie. Give me that cookie. Oh yeah. Ice cream, gluten free ice cream. No,
Got a little bop to it.
Got a
little
bop
bop.
to it. I like this.
I love it. I'll be honest, I love it.
I fuck
like
with
it.
that.
I like it a lot.
I'm gonna
That's a
blap
blap.
that. We're gonna
That's a
blap
blap.
that.
Total blap. Had that bounce.
Yeah, I like that. Pardon my freestyle. That was great. There was movement. It was happy. There was emotion to it. It made me feel something. And it was just bop. Drums were great.
Yep. I feel like I knew when the verses came, like when it was the chorus, even just the bass. It wasn't like your typical bass. It wasn't really the 808. It was just like the boom, boom.
That's all it needed.
Boom. Oh, it's perfect. I loved it. Who? What's the producer?
Grandma Moses.
Grandma Moses.
Shout to Grandma Moses,
Grandma
man.
Moses. That was fire.
Good fucking job, dude.
It was fire.
Great fucking job, man. Our next submission is by Syer, Syer. Okay, here we go. Okay, I like those chords. I think he overcomplicated it for no reason. Yeah.
Seriously, it had so much potential. Like this, I like.
Yeah.
Open. Right? This is beautiful. Oh, this is great. Then throw that bass here.
Yep.
Throw the bass here. Right here. But the bass, even they use, it's not it.
It's not it.
They need like something moving around a little more.
Sequencing issue.
But damn, almost there. But it's not. It's a crap. But it's close.
That was close. Yeah, I'm going to say the same. Yeah. I think that has a lot of potential. Just sequence it a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
I think that one little part where it jumped out and like
Yeah.
it was like bare. I think it was just the drums were a little confusing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that can turn into a great song, but you just have to
100%.
you want to sequence that
100%.
a little better. All right, our next submission is by Subject Beats. Subject.
Cool.
It's a little quiet.
A little low, yeah.
It's a little low. You gotta throw something on that master. Too long. Okay,
It's not it.
let's see.
I can just no. Just by the selection of the sounds, I feel like I could already tell.
This made me feel like rapping like this. Fuck you like this. Hit you like this. Eating that ice cream.
Fucking and eating ice
Hit you
cream.
like
Oh,
this.
shit.
Fuck
God
you
damn.
like this. Beat you like this. Beat you like this. Greet you like this. Yeah. All for that ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. Yeah, we do it for the ice cream, ice cream. I think I'm gonna get ice cream after this.
Yeah,
that's
nice.
like
I
it's
get a little
actually
Sunday.
a must. It's a must. Little Thursday ice cream.
Oh my god.
He said in an email it was rough. Definitely sounds rough. Yeah, it's a little tame right now. You got to put some umph in there, or something.
But here's the thing.
I don't know.
Why are you gonna send a rough? Like this is blapper crap. Like, you're gonna send a rough. Oh, this is a rough. No, don't send me a fucking rough. Send me your best shit.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear rough.
Subject. Now you know for next time.
Come on, subject. Send that fire.
Let's hear some fire. Let's hear
I
some
want to
full
hear
shit.
rough. I don't want to hear some fire.
I agree.
And you might, if you're gonna say that, just say, "Yo, this track is hard." Don't say the shit. It's a rough beat. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to hear that shit.
I agree. And on that note,
Oh, that was hard.
there we go. All right, our next submission, our last submission for today is by Derek Norton. Full government name. Fuck it.
Sounds like a football
Fuck you guys.
player
You know
or
my
something.
government name. My government name. Ain't my government name.
Yours is
Manny Pacquiao. That's my government name. Okay. Shout to Manny. Here we go. It's a
a
little
little low. Another one a little low.
too low. This makes me wanna rap like this, like this. Talk your shit. Shake it from side to side. Talk your shit. Talk your shit. Talk my shit. Talk it. Fuck you, your bitch. Talk your shit. Talk my shit. Talk it. Talk my shit. Talk your shit. Got that. I got that. Got that. I got you. Here we go.
Oh,
It's my freestyle. We do it. Got that ice cream. Real fluid. Got that cookie once.
you know when you
I
start
can't, bro. I
whispering
feel
on this
bad.
shit, it's just so you know. It's like you know where that's going.
Yeah.
That's like the new thing. Like if the mix is really low, you just start whispering.
I don't know what to say. No, sorry, Derek. No disrespect. I mean, it was a little. It was just low. Like
Yeah, it was low.
Everything has to come up in energy. I think something. Something had to happen there.
Was there
Something
even a
had to
bass
happen.
line in there?
No, it was like
I don't know
barely.
if I heard a bass line in there.
It almost sounded like it was like through the phone.
Yeah.
But like not through the phone.
Right.
If that makes sense. All right, we can't end off with that. Our last submission for today is by Evergreen Beats. Here we go.
It was like if you did it through a phone to another phone, and then they played it through
Yeah,
that
they
phone.
played it through like the third phone. Here we go. Just gotta come in hard.
What the fuck, Evergreen?
Okay. I like that drop. I'm not mad at the.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
If that
808 was in there mixed like properly, it would make this track so much harder. It's just like it's like almost clipping every time. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. I'm not super crazy about like the drum sounds he used either. Like, it's just a little flat, just a little bit, right? But I think it has a lot. I like the pattern.
Oh yeah, programming like is good. But you're right, the sound selection,
cool,
and the mix definitely. But it's,
okay,
yeah,
I'm
it's
not mad at that.
though.
That's
It's
almost there. I don't think it deserves a blap.
No,
but
definitely not a blap.
It's
but
not a shitty beat.
No, it's not a brown paper bag.
No, definitely not a brown paper bag. Evergreen, good job. I do like that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think just some better drums, a little more textured. I like the patterns, and I really love that melody.
Yeah, I think the mash needed to come up a little bit too, but I thought there was like a lot of clipping going on. So when I say master, I mean maybe that's not the right term, but like the whole track sounded really low.
True.
And like it wasn't really punching through like it should.
It wasn't punching through. Yeah. Man, pretty decent submissions.
That was it?
For the most part, that's it.
That's it.
That's
okay.
it. That's it. Here we go. Here we go.
Well, we got one blap at least.
We got one.
From, what was it, Grandma?
Say it again?
Grandma, what was it?
Grandma Moses. Grandma Moses. Yeah, did a great job. I like that beat. That was a blap from us. But listen, guys. Another episode, 110. Shout to all our subscribers.
Yes.
Shout to all of our new listeners as well.
Yes.
Man, make sure you check out that Pass the Aux stuff, all that, the events that Alice is doing, man. Get your network on. We're hoping that this episode, provided some insight and some value for you. So definitely drop your comments in the comment section. If you're on Apple Music, leave us a nice comment. If you're on SoundCloud, leave a comment, hit that repost. If you're on YouTube watching us, go ahead and leave your comments in the comment section. Ask us questions, some insight on what you guys think of what we talked about today. And man, keep creating, guys. Keep that energy going, man. Stay creative. Don't feel down. Don't get discouraged, because the beginning stages are very, very difficult, as we said. But you just gotta keep that going, man, and believe in yourself, man.
Gotta power through it. It'll be all right.
Power through it. 1 + 1 = 2. We're always gonna give you the same answers, because there is only one correct answer to this. So we'll catch you guys next episode.
Please.
We out of here, Sean.
Fatality.